So I guess I should probably post this before everybody else jumps on the soil test bandwagon here. It's not that it's a bandwagon, it's just something good that all farmers should be doing. I just don't show when I do it because it's a long, pain in the ass, tedious job to go over the acreage that I have or the acreage that I'm going to be putting into row crops again. And quite honestly, I didn't think that anybody would really be too interested in it at all, but I have seen that, you know, some people out there on YouTube world, whether they saw my video or whether it's pure coincidence, just so happen to be doing operations that I've been doing. And then, you know, after it's all said and done, they say, hey, by the way, here's my GoFundMe, here's my Patreon, here's my this, that, and the other damn thing. You know, when I do something on YouTube, it is out of my pocket. You do not see donated stuff at all on my channel. The last thing I did was Peckway, and that ended miserably because it didn't end miserably. It just didn't end the way it should have. The way it was supposed to go and the way it ended were very, I don't know, I wasn't happy about it. And I decided from that point forward that I would not be taking donations on anything to post on my channel, because then I felt like I was somebody else's bitch being told what to do and what to post and how to post it. So anyway, I'm taking soil tests. Yes, they cost money. Yes, it's money that is well spent, because in the end I can adjust the amount of fertilizer, lime, seed rates, all of it, right down to the bare minimum for the maximum crop and all. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work. So anyways, thank you, and I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, give it a thumbs up. I guess it's a thumbs up now. It used to be comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you're not subscribed, it is free. It doesn't cost you a dime, and you can hit the notification bell. Maybe YouTube will allow that to happen now, since I've cleaned up my act. You know, and you get these wonderful videos every time I post. So thank you in advance. All right, so I left my other camera. At the shop. So, are you yawning? What I'm doing, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. All right, fine. I'll unplug you, you pain in the neck. What I'm doing is I'm collecting soil tests. I've got my soil probe here. And in 2020, I took soil tests and found out how dismal the ground was. And it was pretty dismal. You really, yeah, I know the transmission's not in park. Soil tests were pretty dismal because of the former farmer on this property. He was a sod guy, and he just didn't care. Oh man, I got something. A rock stuck in there. So what you do is you take your probe and you go, hello. And of course, I can't get a decent sample there. There's a rocky part of the field, but I did okay there. And what that does is just takes a core sample down through the profile of soil. You can see some organic matter in there. Nothing great. And what you want to do is just that. Take that thing there, get a bunch of them. About 20 different tests, 20 different cores per field. This is kind of awkward, but we're doing it anyway. About 20 different cores per field will do the job. And each field, doesn't matter whether it's a 50-acre field or obviously in a 50-acre field you would want to do a little different pattern. Last time I did a Z-shaped pattern. This time I'm just going to do a cross section, like a diagonal path, and I'm going to take about 20 cores, or 20, let me get out of there, 20 different samples to send off for soil analysis. And it's just random. Oh, there's a rock there. So what I'll do here is just this. Get all that nice dirt in my truck, which it's a truck, you know, that's what they're for. They're not for pretty boys to sit and watch. I did spin rye seed on this thing, but after I spun the rye, it got cold. And I actually thought that the damn seed was dead. I bought the seed off of Timmy Corn Picker, and I haven't paid him for it yet, though. So technically I've picked up the seed and put it on that I got from Timmy Corn Picker, but he'll get a kick out of this. I told him then the live stream that I thought it was dead. And it does, it just lays here, right? Well, right there it lays. I want to show that it is actually starting to sprout. And this is from the downed corn. We had downed corn, spindly stalks. We're going to change the way we plant this particular variety or field of corn this coming year. Like, I'm probably going to put beans in it. And gotta love beans, right? Well, our deer problem is going away, thankfully. I would say it is. There's not nearly as many deer as there were, which will give me a whole bunch more opportunity to make some money in crops or grain farming. You know how that is, you know. And I've got all the equipment, so I'm okay. I'm okay there. I've got about 100 acres of ground, 120 acres of ground in this area here. There's a hay field over there that I'm probably going to kill off and put something else in. I have no soil tests on that one, but that has had a complete blend of fertilizer on there. Doesn't mean I'm not going to pull a soil test. I'm just not going to pull a soil test today. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few more samples. I want to show where I ripped here. This is one of the fields that I had ripped. There's a lot of, oh, my bucket fell in. There's a lot of rocks in here, so you got to be kind of careful. But you can see how I heaved it. And you can actually see in here, if you look, the organic matter that is starting to come back. The organic matter on this farm is dismal at best because of lots and lots of years of sod farming, soybean farming, and nothing else. But you can see here that there is actually wormholes. There's worm activity in here starting to come back. This is a field this spring that I had and it's really, as damp as it is, it's actually the soil's not compacted at all. I'm rather pleased. Of course, I did go over this with the ripper and break it up a little bit, but pretty pleased about a lot of the way that this is going. But you can see some of the root mass that's in there, and it's actually starting to come back. So I don't really want to put soybeans in here. I want to go another year of corn and another year of compost for sure. And I'm going to shut the camera off and finish up this bucket, and then I will show you exactly what you do when you take the soil test, or put the soil test in the soil sample bag. Okay, so since I don't have my magnetic stand, and I can't really just put you up in a area where you can see what I am doing, I'm just going to explain it to you, and I'll show you when I get it all mashed up, is I'm taking the dog turds out of this, okay? I don't need all the dog turds. I need them to be crumbled up into a nice manageable sample, and I'll show you how much of the sample I'm gonna actually have when it's done. I do have a lot of these little soil sample bags here, and what I'm going to do is pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead, yep, okay, so got them. You don't touch it with your bare hands, okay? Not a good thing to do, because anything that's on your hands will end up in the sample and it will cause it to be inaccurate. So I got to write my name out. Okay. So what I do is I use the name and the field that I am in. This is F2.
So F3 is there, F1 is up top. I haven't done those yet. So I start at the top and work, or start at the east and work my way all the way to the west. Okay. Some people get really crazy and wipe their stuff down with acetone. I'm not doing that. Whoops, you guys went for a ride. Woohoo! Anyway, so that's what it looks like inside there. There's a couple of dog turds. But for the most part, you want it all crumbled up. Obviously, ideally, you want it to be drier than what this is, but unfortunately, I don't have that opportunity. So what I do is I open up the bag as far as I can get it. It don't have to be perfect, but I just start spilling it in throughout the whole entire bucket. So things are falling on the ground, and that's that. Done. The rest of the bucket is whacked out. Probably gonna toss a little bit of that out of there. And that is my sample. I hope you can see this. You may or may not like the way I did this sample. I don't care if you did or didn't. It's fine, because you know what? It's the way I do it. And I do things a little differently than most people. But that's it. So sample 2. And then give me that. Give me that. William, give me the thing. Give me that. I have dirt all over the place. Okay. I think I got a little bit of a bow to it now. Okay. That's that. I'll go on to the next field. Alright, so as I go across this field, pulling these samples, I've done a lot of them so far. There's a bunch there. This is just for this one farm. I probably don't have to do every single field, but I am, because I think honestly this will be the cheapest. Oh shit. Hold on here. I think this will be the cheapest thing that a farmer can do this year, is these soil tests. With the input costs going to be where they're at, there's a lot of people with precision planting tools and fertilization sprayers and stuff that can do a much better job than me at determining what is, you know, the best for them. So applications and things like that. So what I can do is, or what I'm doing here, because I'm going to be relying heavily on alternative fertilizers, other than the old commercial jobs. I will continue to use commercial fertilizers, yes, but I'm only going to put on what is absolutely 100% necessary to shave input costs. And I mean, I'm putting in somewhere between 1,000, upwards of 1,000 acres of something or two things. So this farm was treated pretty much the same as all the others, except this farm only had, or this field only had 1 year of compost, whereas everything else had 2 years of compost, and last year's compost equaled, on this field and the others, equaled somewhere around 10 ton to the acre. So at 10 tons to the acre, I want to see the difference between last year's soil tests on this particular field and all the other fields as well, the difference between the compost that was applied 2 years and 1 year. What I'm looking for in this field, I know what's going to be here. What I'm looking for really is organic matter. The former farmer on this field just soybeaned the death out of this thing. Soybeans, 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 and wheat once in a while, every couple of years. So that's no way to really run a farm. Never any application of lime or anything like that. No soil improvements. I don't know that he even put potash on this farm, because the soil tests that I had taken in the previous year showed that everything was in that very low category, medium to low, or very low. So what do you got there, Will? You got your toes out? So anyway, I'm just going on, I'm not going in a zigzag pattern, I'm just going on a diagonal, because I spread east to west, and I'm taking two samples about 20 to 30 feet apart, because spreader width can affect what I'm doing on one. So I think it's an accurate enough thing. Like 2 more samples to do. That was only about 20 feet apart. But anyway, yeah, I think that the organic matter is going to be up where it needs to be manageable. You know, nothing exceptional. That was extraordinarily low, like in the 1.5 range. It was ridiculous. Now, with this year's knowledge of what I'm going to be doing, I will tell you that this farm, the microbial activity and the earthworm activity were beyond deplorable. Like Hillary Clinton deplorable, that bad. But with a couple of years of corn and some organic matter, I did notice right here, well, I noticed at the other end of the field that I was starting to see some holes from like earthworm activity. So let me come on over here. Earthworms won't come up when it's really wet, really wet, but I've got rye that I threw on here, and somebody walked across it. There's a human being track, and it ain't mine. So here's the rye. It's starting to sprout and come up, but you can see that earthworm activity is starting to come back. There's a hole there. I mean, these holes, that's earthworm activity, which is very good in my case, because when you bring soil back to life, the earthworms come back and things start to percolate down through the soil profile. I chisel plowed 2 years. I will not be chisel plowing this coming year. I'm only going to disc it. I'm going to disc it, and I know that may cause a smear, but with the added organic matter in the soil, And honestly, this soil is very soft. I'm putting the probe down really nice and easy, so I think we're gonna have a better year this coming year than we had the last 2 years. I've been debating whether I'm going to be putting soybeans on here versus corn. The reality is, it is going to be corn for a 3rd year, for the simple reason I don't want to lose what I've gained in the organic matter side of things, okay? And soybeans put nothing back in the soil other than a little bit of nitrogen and some beneficial fungus, the rhizobum fungus. So we're really trying to bring everything back up to a decent level before I go ahead and put soybeans in. Oh shit. What I am planning, though, as silly as this may or may not sound, is putting a shorter season variety on here. Not a super short season variety, but maybe a early planted 100 day, and putting the you're trying to put wheat in, just a little bit of wheat. Now we are at F5, and that'll be it for now. I'll clue you in on where I'm going with this and where it's going and who's taking it. I'm going to take it over to FS Growmark, but for the most part, we are Boo William. Look at him being all bashful. Are you being bashful? You are bashful, little silly boy. Anyway, just me and Will today.